Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey, Peg.
In her kitchen yet?
In my brand new kitchen.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Alan Smason of TheaterCriticism.com and the Crescent City Jewish News. Hello, Mr. Allen.
Hey,
hello.
Peggy.
Also joining us, we're so excited, Chefs Amaris and Jordan Herndon from Palm and Pine Restaurant. Hey, good to see you all.
Hey.
And by the way, Amaris is one of our stars on WYES's national cooking series, Kitchen Queens from New Orleans. And good to see you all, dears. And we welcome Bobby Brocado Jr., author of Food for Kings, Diamond Jim, a New Orleans legend. Bobby is the grandson of Diamond Jim Moran. Hey, Bobby, welcome.
How you doing, Peggy?
Hey. Poppy, during these trying days, how exciting to see yet another entertaining culinary idea surface.
Well, this was a big hit when they first tried it last fall, and I'm talking about dinner and a movie on the Noki rooftop. And, of course, that's the New Orleans Culinary and Hospitality Institute, which is located right there on Howard Avenue at Lee Circle. And it's fabulous up there. The view's incredible. And they put big screens out. It's so much fun. It kicks off next Friday with an Irish celebration. They're going to show the movie Rudy. Of course, there's going to be corned beef and cabbage and stout braised lamb. And this is just the first of several events. This is a full-service, two-course dinner with cocktail. There's a bar with sweet treats that you can purchase. It's $60 for dinner in the movie. And oh, my goodness, they're going to go through Greek menu for my big, fat Greek wedding. Say anything. When they do waitress, that's May 14th. They're going to have pimento cheese to smothered green beans and fried chicken and potato salad. I'm not even going to mention what they're serving on May 28th for Dirty Dancing. But it's fabulous. This is such a fun thing, and the tickets sell out. This just is getting rolling, so go to Eventbrite and book your tickets now for
and
dinner and a movie through June.
All the pricing info right on there. Okay, yeah, have fun. Alan, a tried and true on the stage of JPAS these days.
Yeah, this is the final weekend for Arsenic and Old Lace, their JPAS's production. It's a runaway hit on Broadway 80 years ago. It featured, of course, Boris Karloff as Jonathan Brewster, the serial killer. But here you get to see the roles of the Brewster sisters. They're played Abby and Martha, Janet Shea and Helen Blank. They've been busy helping old men out of their pain and suffering by offering them a bit of their special elderberry wine laced with a lethal combination of arsenic, strychnine, and a touch of cyanide. Louis de Dossett there on the left has a grand time playing their nephew Teddy, who believes he's Teddy Roosevelt charging up San Juan Hill. Leon Contevespri there in the middle is Mortimer, and that's his intended. He's engaged to Elaine Harper, the daughter of the minister who lives next door, played by Allison Logan. This black comedy actually enjoys performances by Bryce Slocum as Jonathan, Earl Ciano as the plastic surgeon Dr. Einstein, and several others, too numerous to mention right now. But it's directed by Chris Shaw. It's an 80-year-old script, though, and it does, even though it's been taken out of mothballs, it does leave me wanting for more. Some funny lines and great situations. All of the actors were good, but as I say, I should give a shout-out to Eric Porter for a tremendous effort that he did with that huge stage. I thought he really did a great job there. We all need to support JAPS. Remember that the auditorium I saw that night was only half filled, and I really want to emphasize that community theater needs your support. If we don't support them now during this really critical time, we may not have them around after the pandemic is over. So keep that in mind. Again, JPAS is Arsenic and Old Lace. Now, one of the groundbreaking shows of the last several decades was the musical by Jonathan Larson, Rent. It was a musical, of course, that was workshopped at the New York Theater Workshop 25 years ago. There you go. To give homage to this really amazing work, several of the original players who went on to star on Broadway, people like Idina Menzel, Anthony Rapp, and Adam Pascal, are all featured in an hour-and-a-half-long tribute of this singing and dancing. You'll be able to enjoy it. Of course, it's virtual. The live stream was on Tuesday night, but it's still viewable from now until late Saturday night. It costs $25, but I believe it is a tax-deductible gift. Don't count me on that, but I think it is because this is a nonprofit organization. And again, you'll be able to take part in a sing-along with the Rent songs, even a Rent trivia, so check that out. Now, normally, I have to tell you, I as the editor of the Crest City Jewish News, I would not, be informed about a lot of different things, but here is something going on that struck me as very interesting. This is a film. I don't normally do films, but this is a film that stars Dave Davis. He's right there in the front as Hamlet. You can see he, a few years ago, starred in the Shakespeare Festival at Tulane version. Dave now stars in a horror tale called The Vigil, about a young man who's paid to watch over the body of a recently deceased man the night before his burial. And so he witnesses a mazik, which is a frightening demon that forces him to recall past events in his life and to challenge him in his current path in life. The tension in this thriller is really palpable, psychological, and the music soundtrack is a perfect complement to it. Really scary things that go bump in the night. You can check it out at the Britannia Canal Place Theater at 2, 8, and 10 p.m.
All right, thank you so much. And we go over to the edge of the quarter on Rampart Street live. Amaris and Jordan, welcome to our show. We're just thrilled that you're here in Palm and Pine. Tell us a little bit, Amaris, about the name itself and what it refers to.
Sure. So we actually don't quite remember how we came up with the name, but the trees, the palm and the pine trees, are found in the areas that we like to cook food from. And we also like the extra meanings of the word, using the palm of your hand to make something or care for something, and to pine for something. We pined for this restaurant for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there is, it's quite the wonderful mix. There's New Orleans, there's Caribbean. We'll be showing, it's a beautiful restaurant. It really is. And it's the 300 block of North Rampart.
Thank you.
And I understand you all, decorated it from scratch. We'll see some of your dishes, but also you have a wonderful map, which really kind of says a lot, too. But these are, there you go. I love that map. And the fact that you've got palm and pine there, right there in the middle of it. But those are some of the areas that you're focusing on. And
correct.
What do you, as a husband and a wife, what do you each bring to the table in terms of like, what are there particular dishes that one likes over the other? How does this work for you?
Kind of works a couple of different ways. We do our best work when we're working together on dishes, but we do have more knowledge in different areas. I am very focused on Mexican cuisine and really been enamored with that for a long time.
Okay.
And I think we equally love Caribbean and Central American cuisine, and then Jordan is more focused on the New Orleans. Like, he's really into the history of New Orleans. And
Yeah, I mean, well, I think, we say we kind of explore the South and south of that. And what that means is, we're first a New Orleans restaurant, and what that kind of means to us is we're a restaurant you couldn't find anywhere else except in this city. And I love, we moved here to cook in this city 13 years ago, and so it definitely has to be something that we bring to the table, but it's also Southern food too.
Well, the good news, the exciting news, and you just saw on the screen all the information and the address, but it said reopening soon. But we have an update. Please share that with us.
All right, you want to say it together? Friday.
March 19th.
Yes,
we're
St.
opening
Joseph's
back up.
Day.
We're
Yay,
excited.
St. Joseph's Day,
Yeah,
March the
we're
19th.
excited.
No, that's great
There you
news. Now, not only, of course, are you cooking there, but these days you're also providing food for that incredible emporium of libations, Jewel of the South. Tell us about that.
We started doing food for Jewel of the South on February 3rd. We provide the snacks that go along with their cocktail hour. So the food's designed to complement the cocktails. They change themes each month. This month, their theme is Santini out of the East, right?
Yeah.
We brought a couple dishes. You want to show the tuna?
We're going to go right into it.
Yeah.
So we have, we're doing a smoked tuna dip, kind of very much pulling from like the Florida Panhandle, Forgotten Coast style of like a smoked tuna dip, but we're putting a little bit of soy sauce in there and doing a Japanese QP mayo that's really binding it with some pickled ginger and some wonton crisp on the side. It's really delicious.
The cocktails they're doing right now are inspired by bars out of Japan, Tokyo, and Hong Kong.
Wow, sounds great. One thing that I'm especially, of course, excited about is you are part of our Season of Personal Chef series, where you all very kindly create a meal for our viewers, our patrons, to pick up. And it turns out this is Tuesday night, and we're going to be doing a Zoom together, a visit. We're going to have our little virtual dinner party, if you will, and I'm looking forward to that. But you still have a few slots, a few dinners left, and so so tomorrow at 5 is the deadline to go to wyes.org/events, and just a few, right? Okay, that menu looks great too.
I think there's maybe 4 left. So check that out. But the menu and all the detail of that is on our website as well. Now, in addition to all of these things, you've got something exciting coming up with Frank Brightson. Is that right, at City Park?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited to get to cook with Chef Frank. He's hosted us in his restaurant before with some other chefs, and we're excited to get a chance to do something in City Park with the amazing Chef Frank.
Yeah, it's
Very
really
good.
It's really neat to call him a friend, and he's definitely a role model for us and for a lot of people. So
okay, well, it's so great to see you all, and once again, WYES Tuesday night via Zoom. We're going to have a virtual dinner party with a wonderful menu from them. So check it out at wyes.org. Okay, well, we'll see you a little bit later. Thank you. And now we're moving over to Bobby Brocado. Oh, Bobby, anybody who is interested in the culinary history of New Orleans knows that your grandfather, Diamond Jim Moran, was such an important part of it. First of all, explain, though, the name Moran as opposed to Brocado, because that's your name.
Yes, ma'am. My grandfather, he took on the name Moran at a young age. He started boxing in the French Quarter, and he didn't really want his mother to know that he was boxing, so he kind of kept that name Moran. And then as he got older, it kind of stuck with him. And then as he went into the restaurant business, he was always Brocado, but he kind of used the name Moran to carry on the restaurant business.
Right. Now, of course, one of his signature dishes is the diamond-studded meatball. How exciting is that? The whole possibility that if you went to the restaurant, there might be a diamond in that. That's a very, very exciting. Now, you have a lot of wonderful anecdotes, of course, in the book, but very importantly, you have recipes. And we should point out, this is such a great photo, that when we say Diamond Jim, there was a reason. He's wearing, diamond glasses, diamond rings. I mean, everything's diamonds. He was obsessed, wasn't he?
And, he had diamonds in his teeth, too.
Okay.
He was probably the first one to ever put the diamonds in his teeth.
That's right. He was early on, before hip-hop and all that, right?
Yeah, that was back in the early 50s,
Now, the other thing is that my understanding is that initially, at least, that the meatballs were made by your grandmother, so Mrs. Diamond Jim, and she would make them at her home nearby in the Quarter because she didn't want anybody to know her recipe and bring them to the restaurant. That's the case, huh?
Yes, ma'am. They lived on Roll and Esplanade, and they would actually make the meatballs in the back kitchen. And then they would actually deliver them by cab or chauffeur, whatever, how they could get them there. And that was the whole idea, was not to let anybody know the recipe, so it was all done in secret.
By the way, backing up, that other photo with Frank Costello, that was his party, was right under his arm, we should say. So the gentleman right under Diamond Jim's arm is Frank Costello. He certainly had famous and sort of infamous friends or patrons at the restaurant, didn't he?
Yes, ma'am. That photo is actually taken at his first restaurant, which was on St. Louis in Bourbon. If everybody kind of remembers where Al Hurt used to have his place on right there, So he was right there on the corner of St. Louis and Bourbon, and that was his first restaurant, and it was called Jimmy Moran's.
Jimmy Moran's, okay.
Yes,
And then, yes, he was hobnobbing with people like Dorothy Lamour, of course. And this is a wonderful photo because Diamond Jim and his wife had 4 sons, and they pretty much all of them except your dad went into the restaurant business, right?
That's correct. My dad went into dentistry. He practiced dentistry for 40 years. But to the far right is my Uncle Tony, which was well known also after his father's death. He had Tony Moran's La Louisiane, and then his brother Jimmy Moran had,
Off on the left. There,
Moran's Riverside. And my dad's on the far left, and then my Aunt Bonnie is in the middle, and then that's their parents. And they're at the Kentucky Derby. It's probably around 1955, something like that.
Well, yes, in addition to being a boxer, of course, he also loved the horses, so we should point out. And this book is available on Amazon, but also at Angelo Brocado's. And it turns out that, and there's a video that you put together, too, on YouTube, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's a 5-minute trailer, and it's on YouTube. You can just search it by just typing in Diamond Jim Moran, and it should pop up. It's a 5-minute trailer.
And what I love is this connection that indeed you are related to the Angelo Brocado family as well.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. They're distant cousins. We're related on their grandparents' side.
Okay, great. I must tell you that I gave this as a gift for a dear friend at Christmas time, and she already made us the wonderful meatball recipe, and it was good. And then you've got the red gravy, but you also have desserts as well.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
and I can just tell that this was definitely a labor of love. How many years did you work on this?
I started after my father's death in 2008. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2008. And then it took me all those years to do the research in the library, and then kind of carry on a lot of information that my dad had. But I got a lot of information actually from the library, in New Orleans Library down on Loyola and Tulane.
Very good. And there's 2 versions of it. There's one that has the color pictures, and there's also one with the black and white.
Yes, ma'am.
Regardless,
I actually have the color version here.
Okay, there you are.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, anyway, congratulations. And we wish you well on this. As I said, I know it was really a labor of love as well.
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Poppy, back to you, dear.
Well, you may have driven down Magazine Street and passed Tal's Hummus. They've been there for a few years, and really, really great Israeli street food. Well, Tal Sharon, the owner, he's a very ambitious man. And last fall, like in the midst of the pandemic, he opened up a new restaurant called Misa. M-I-S-A, that's named for his Libyan grandmother. And it's global cuisine. He's really showing off there how globally international the Israeli food palette really is. And it's a higher-end restaurant. He's got everything from spring rolls to ceviche, latke to calamari. There's a full bar and a wine list. Look at that beautiful whole fish. And it's lovely in there with big, bright, sunny windows. There's lots and lots of patio seating. They're open 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. on weekdays. And I got big news. There is brunch. And starting this weekend, they're going to be serving brunch at 9:30 in the morning, Saturday and Sunday. There's shakshuka. There's barik, which is a Libyan dish that's an egg-filled little thin pastry leaf. Really unusual food, all sorts of flavors, sure to please everybody who's looking for anything. It's on that menu. And at brunch, pictures of mimosas, of course.
Okay, of course. Right?
Of course.
I love that. Of course, right? Thank you, Poppy. And Alan, I know you're thrilled to talk about one of your favorite actresses and a friend, too.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Well, the last time I was on Broadway was November of 2019, and I was at Circle in the Square. They had the occasion to see Oklahoma, that toned-down version that they did there. And my guest that night was none other than Katie Huffman, the Tony Award winner, of course. She was preparing for a role as Marguerite Bourgeois, the first woman saint of Canada. Marguerite was an original show written just for her, with book and lyrics by Anton Dudley and music by Michael Cooper, 2 Jewish men, I might add. Katie's voice, though, is quite wonderful. It soars as she tells the story of the founding of Montreal and of her own order. She recently, of course, played Mama Morton, which is quite a departure for a saint. If you remember, she won the Tony Award as Ula for the producers. She still got it. She still flaunts it, only this time she does it as a saint. And they have now, if you'll check it out, a CD or a digital download available of Marguerite on Broadway Records. And I want you to make that sure if you get a chance to check this out. 30 different selections on this, and it's really wonderful. Now, meanwhile, for opera lovers, the New Orleans Opera Association, has some things coming up, and I wanted to tell you about that. But before I go off on that tangent, I did want to mention something about the Pasadena Playhouse. This is coming up about the State Theater in Pasadena. They're going to have a little bit of a retrospective on Our Town by Thornton Wilder. Jane Kaczmarek, who's, of course, the great actress you may remember from Malcolm in the Middle, recently starred as the stage manager, and she's going to be the narrator for Another Day's Begun, Exploring Our Town. It also is going to be featuring none other than Howard Sherman, who did a brand new book called Another Day's Begun, and you'll be able to either order the book if you'd like and read that. They're going to have 13 different versions of Our Town that he's going to spotlight in that book. Now, again, I wanted to bring it a little bit more closer to home instead of all the way on the left coast and talk about the New Orleans Opera Association. Hershey Felder has been doing a lot of different shows. He is a pianist and an actor, and his latest iteration of what he does is going to be Puccini. It's going to have 3 different opera singers along with him. This is going to be a great benefit for the New Orleans Opera Association because half of the benefits go to the New Orleans Opera Association. So you go to the New Orleans Opera website to get tickets, and you can check it all out. The live stream is on the 14th, but it'll be on demand through the 21st, and it is $55 per household, but that's less than half the price of a normal ticket for the opera. And by the way, if you stay on that site, you can get a ticket for a lecture by Brian Morgan on his favorite bass baritone, Norman Traegle. It's just $12, and that's for next Thursday night. And finally, Peggy, on the Steph concert series, it's starting at an earlier time than it has been on Sundays at 2 o'clock. You'll be able to see Tony nominee Ava Noblezota, who plays Eurydice. She is no doubt the great singer you may remember from Hadestown. Much more of her. You'll be able to see her different versions of different songs she's going to be doing, again, at 2 o'clock, not at 7. The repeat performance will be at 7 o'clock later that night. So check that out on the Steph Concert Series.
All right, Alan, I just found out that it turns out that Norman Traegle's granddaughter is one of the regional finalists, and she actually won with the Metropolitan Opera, and she's going to New York in May.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So we'll have to, track her down and maybe talk to her. But if anybody knows about Norman Traegle, it's Brian Morgan. He is somebody else who spent many years in a labor of love in doing the research on the incredible Norman Traegle.
I'll tell you a real quick story. Norman Traegle came by. He used to go by the Pontchartrain to get breakfast in the morning. He came by one day and saw that his album was missing from the window, and he put down a note and stuck it in the door. My mother found it when she walked in, and it said, "My picture belongs in that window, you fink."
Oh, because of Smith's Records being right there.
Right,
huh?
yeah.
How long was Smith's Records there?
I know from the early 50s until 1996.
Okay, I've been meaning to ask you that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And now it is time for picks. Poppy.
Well, I hope everybody will sign up to join me here in my kitchen virtually on Saturday when I'm going to be making my famous seafood gumbo, crawfish étouffée, shrimp remoulade. It's the ultimate cooking experience, and there's people joining from all over the country. They're so brave to do a seafood menu in Arizona, aren't they?
They really are. Alan.
Well, would you believe Liza Minnelli is going to be 75? If you'd like to celebrate her birthday in regal style, it's $30, a love letter to Liza. Check out who's going to be this, taking part in a benefit for the Actors Studio. Joel Grey, Lily Tomlin, Joan Collins, Ben Vereen, Nathan Lane, Harry Connick Jr., Billy Stritch, Cheetah Rivera, Mario Cantone, Andrea Martin, Jim Caruso, Michelle Lee, Andrew Randalls, and Charles Bush, many, many others. I'll see you at the theater, Peggy.
Okay, thank you. Now my picks. Artist Kaori Mayama's new show at Lemieux Galleries is called Fugitive Kind. By the way, that's the name of a play by Tennessee Williams. So her series of oil paintings reflect a nocturnal New Orleans landscape. Beautiful, beautiful. At first I thought they were photographs, and then I realized they were paintings. And that's, of course, it opens from Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Lemieux Gallery right there on Julia Street, and it's on through April 24th. Mac Ball has a new show called Stillness. He created these paintings while he and his family were isolated. They were isolating themselves, rather, in a place in southwestern Louisiana during the first several months of the pandemic. That's open now through March the 27th at Cole Pratt Gallery on Magazine Street. Starting next Thursday, the Saints and Sinners Literary Festival begins online. Go to SASFest, sasfest.org for details. And this festival, which is virtual this year, focuses on emerging writers and fans of LGBTQ literature. And by the way, after Palm and Pine, our next season of Personal Chef's Dinners will be from Gianna on March the 15th. Go to wyes.org/events for details. And once again, we want to really thank Amaris and Jordan. And Jordan, I have a question for you. I know you also focus very much on the cocktail culture. What are some of your other favorite cocktails that you all have?
Oh, definitely. For us, our bar manager Jason makes a riff on a Sazerac called a Jazzerac.
Ooh!
And it is fantastic, and it's really one of our signature cocktails. And I love jazz. I love the word jazz, and if we can fit it in anything, being able to riff on it in a cocktail, I think it's awesome. All
right, thank you all. And Bobby, a question for you. Okay, you've got lots of recipes in this book. What are some of your favorites?
I have many. The meatballs are fantastic. Something basic like the lentil soup, not a whole lot to it. And try the chocolate cheesecake, too, as well.
Well, that's what I was really delighted that you also have lots of desserts, too.
Yes,
so that's good.
Yeah.
And I see Moran's famous chili sauce. I did not realize that they have chili, so I'm learning a lot here, too.
Yeah, he did sell chili, he did have it on his menu, but he used filet mignon for the meat, believe it or not.
Wow.
Filet mignon.
That's awesome.
All
Yeah.
right.
And then also, to mention, it's on Amazon. I don't know if you had...
Yes, I did. And you
Okay.
said it's at Octavia, too. So
Yeah,
Amazon,
Octavia
Octavia, and yes, and Angela Brocado's. Well, thank you all so very much, and thank you very much for watching. Good night.
Thank you.
Rouse's is proud of the creativity and the unparalleled entertainment in New Orleans, and honored to highlight it with their sponsorship of Steppin Out on WYES.